it's crazy because when you're doing a performance, you like tap into a vibe that is so unexplainable. Sometimes people be asking me like what it's like to perform. I think it's the highest high you can be on. There is no drug, there is no thing that compares to the high that I get when I'm performing.
Hello, good afternoon, Amsterdam. Wow, if you guys could feel the energy in this room right now, with no butterflies in my stomach. Welcome to We the People Radio. I am your host, Amber Paris, and today we have two lovely folks who I'll let introduce themselves in a bit, and I am extremely thrilled and honored to be your host today. And if you didn't know, at We the People Radio, every month we have a new guest, a new host, and a new topic. So we would love to introduce you to today's topic and also hear from you of what you'd like to see later, but we'll come back to that. Today we are going to talk about creating your identity as an artist and what it means to claim your identity. So we will dissect into that journey, and these two lovely artists will talk about their journey and their creative identity. So without further ado, introduce yourself to the people at home.
Thank you, baby girl. Who's first, you or me?
You can go first.
You up first.
Hi guys, I don't know which camera to look at, but
You can look at me, we're right here.
Hi, guys.
We right here. We have to.
I know. I'm Jazz. Yeah, well, we've met before a long time ago, but I'm Jazz. I'm a makeup artist. I'm 25 years old. I am a Amsterdam-based makeup artist. I love doing creative makeup. I love doing editorial makeup, and yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Very happy that you invited me to talk, and yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, that's me.
And how long have you been a makeup artist?
I'm doing it now for already like 9 years, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a while.
That's
And yeah, I love it. It's really what I love to do and where I can put all my creativity in. So
Nice.
Yeah.
And we have some of your work here with us today.
We do.
Some of your lovely recent work.
Yes.
So, I mean, looking at this from here, viewers at home probably feeling what I'm feeling. Like, this is just absolutely
majestic.
amazing.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you.
You've worked with artists in Amsterdam and outside of Amsterdam.
Yeah, also.
Okay, dope. And so, seeing your work on the billboard and in magazines and in, other people's creative process, how does that feel in the end?
Well, honestly, it's amazing. Every time when doing a shoot or a video shoot, it's like a whole process. So you always have to wait like 4 or 3 months for everybody to publish the whole thing, So you get very excited in the process and you just want to like see the end result, Yeah. And I'm always very proud on the team that I work with on a project and everything. And most definitely when it's picture perfect, like the way I want it to. So I'm always very proud of the whole team and also myself. When I look at these beautiful pictures, I'm like, yes, this is always what I wanted to do. And this is also for a brand, Claes Iversen. And it is a very good designer. He works with the Dutch king and queens royalty.
Okay.
So yeah, I love doing this shoot with also a couple, Maria Bodil. Those are two sisters that are shooting these beautiful pictures, creative pictures, and more editorial style. So I loved working on this project.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Nice.
Awesome.
So we're gonna dive more. Oh, sorry, my bag.
No. I was like, it must feel so good when a vision comes to life. When you as a team, you have this collective vision
ideas,
and it comes to life.
And you have one thing at the end. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Lit.
So we're gonna dive more into that in a second, what that's like going into that process and the mind of an artist when you're forging that identity. So who do we have in the middle? Who is you?
In the hot dog middle.
In the hot dog middle.
Well, I'm Zulu Green. I'm a Black queer artist. Amsterdam raised, Amsterdam based. I'm a Gemini. Also a very important fact. Next to that, I'm a daughter. I'm a friend. Everything. I'm a spiritual being. So that actually, and I translate my vibes through music.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. And how long have you been in music?
Well, that's actually an interesting question because earlier on, prior to this, to what we're recording right now, we were talking about when do you actually start with something? Mm-hmm. And I feel like I came out of my mom singing. Like from the moment I stole her Whitney Houston CD, when I stole that Whitney Houston album, I feel like my journey as a musician started. So yeah.
And that's part of our conversation here today. So
and that's part of the conversation. But when I really started, like professionally, I think it was from the age of 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. And we have a sample of your work also,
Sheesh.
a live performance. So let's check this out and vibe to your energy.
Hey, hey. Girl, I know that boy done did you wrong, but you are so been fronting way too long. So I gotta say like, hey, 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 señorita, hey, hey. Señorita, señorita, it's nice to meet ya. I haven't seen you in a while. I know that boy done took your smile. You know I always made you laugh, but still you always made me cry. So I had to wonder why you be like, hey stranger, what you doing? Now you picture me rolling like I won't deny it. I'm a straight rider. Now you wanna fuck me?
Yes.
I've seen your work, and every time I see a new show, I'm like, it's like the first time that I'm watching you perform. Like the energy is always matching your last performance. Yes. How does it feel watching yourself? You look nervous right now.
Yeah, it's crazy because when you're doing a performance, you like tap into a vibe that is so unexplainable. Sometimes people be asking me like what it's like to perform. I think it's the highest high you can be on. There is no drug, there is no thing that compares to the high that I get when I'm performing. Because, also when you realize that you have people in the crowd and all those energies are like directed towards you and you like recycle that energy back, it's such a magical spiritual thing. So looking back on this, I'm just like, yeah.
Just speechless.
It just brings me back to that moment, and it was, it's nice.
Wow, so, beautiful, beautiful. I feel that for sure. I mean, not that I feel that, and
you
what
were
you're
there.
explaining. I was there in spirit. No,
playing the bass.
No, but you can, as a viewer, you can feel that energy transition.
Definitely.
Right?
And
that.
Because it was live recorded as well, you could
Okay.
feel more. You could feel the energy, right?
Yeah, it was. And it was one of the first shows that I did where I wasn't in a lineup. So it was really my show. So that was so special to me that the people that came out really came out to see my show. And it also gave me like the creative freedom to bring my show to life for 45 minutes. And
Wow.
That was just an amazing experience. So when I look back to this, it just brings me back to that moment and just grateful.
Love that.
Grateful for being able to do what I love. I think that's the thing, yeah.
Perfect segue into what we're going to talk about today, doing what you love, and as an artist, how that's always often a question when you are going into your profession. Can I be an artist as my profession? And if it's not my profession, am I still an artist? So today we're going to talk about that, claiming your artistic identity, whether you're working professionally or not, and when does it start? When does this identity start to form? And before we go into our conversation, I want us to keep a particular audience in mind. When I thought about what I wanted to talk about on the show, I wanted to speak to those people listening who feel inside their hearts that they are an artist, but have not taken that leap of letting the world know and are questioning, at what point am I an artist? When do I get that verification? So those people who are asking those kind of questions to themselves is who I want us to speak to and explore that complex conversation.
Yeah.
So to kick off our conversation, I actually have a quote that I love. I found from a documentary I was watching about theater performance. And an American playwright, Lorraine Hansberry, said, "You have to be arrogant enough to call yourself an artist."
Facts.
Yeah, that's
Facts.
true.
I think that,
tell me what you think of that.
I think that's facts, but I think because I've read an interesting book. It's called Steal Like an Artist.
Steal like an artist.
Steal Like an Artist, and this was such a it's such a nice book because it's easy to go through, and the things that he's saying in the book are like a new eye opener. In the book, he said, from the moment you call yourself an artist, you lose your artistry.
Wow.
Because when you see yourself as an artist, you like kind of, how do you say that? You bind your art to yourself.
Okay.
And art should be on itself. So when you call yourself an artist, you lose your artistry. So to me, that was like, oh, whoa, that's crazy.
Do you agree with that?
Somehow, I know. I can understand where he's coming from, like the writer.
Yeah.
But I do think how do you say that? I do agree with that, but somehow I don't agree with that, because I think if you're an artist, you already know that you're an artist since that you were like one, you know. So yeah, you just get born with artistry. If you ask me, I mean, you cannot just be like 30, turn 30 and be like, oh yeah, I'm an artist right now. You always need to have that feeling that you are an artist, you know. So I do agree with that somehow, and I also disagree with that. But I agree with that because you cannot keep all of your art to yourself. If you keep it all to yourself, you live in a bubble, you know, and you need to express all the art that you have so you can share it with everybody. So in that sense, I do agree with that. But next to that, I think, yeah, you are born as an artist. Yes.
Yeah, I also agree with that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm also like 50-50 on what he was saying, because I do believe that when you're like, okay, I'm an artist now, you forget the fact that you should still have heroes too. Before you start out, you have these heroes and you have maybe posters and icons that you look up to. But when you see yourself as an artist, you see yourself also as there. So you don't have heroes anymore. And your art isn't pure anymore. I think he was referring to that. You should keep your art pure, and that way you can still be an artist. But if you're like, okay, I'm this artist now, you start to create from a whole nother, like, let's say, another source than you do before you see yourself as an artist and are like, yo, I'm just fucking around with things.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know?
So you mean like making the difference between your identity of who you are and being a performing, like doing art for the sake of performance. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I guess so. I just read it in the book.
Okay.
And
It's such a good
I just
book,
read it in the
though.
book. Like,
Quote me.
don't quote me. I'm quoting the guy from the book. Like,
When you read that, how did that resonate with your journey as an artist? Like, did you feel like you were losing yourselves as artists because you claim yourselves as artists?
You asking me or her?
I mean, both of you, whoever resonates with the message.
Do you want to answer?
yeah, it resonated with me in the sense of, you know, when you call yourself an artist and start tapping and living into that artist life, you like get involved in all types of things that are not necessarily have to do with being an artist. You know, with deadlines, content,
I see.
Instagram. How is your social media character? You're like dealing with so many things that are not about your art, and I think pure artistry should be like, yo,
Free.
this free.
Yeah.
This is something. Yeah, thank you.
Moment of silence there.
Moment of silence. That felt so deep. Right? I was having my Oprah silence.
Yes, girl.
Yeah, free.
Yeah.
So I think, of course, like it was just the book and it resonated with me in the moment, but your art should always be free, and yeah, it should always be free.
Yeah, it's a really good book, though.
Yeah.
This is a dope book, though.
Really good book.
Read it. So
I do want to say something about
Yeah, of
the question that you've asked.
Yeah.
Like the question.
The quote.
Yeah, the quote. I do think arrogancy is a big word, you know. So you don't have to necessarily be arrogant, in my opinion, but you do need to be like secure of yourself, you know. Just self-forsaken, you know. Just you need to know what your worth is as a creative, and I think when you know that, you can call yourself an artist. Because if you don't know your worth and you do everything like just that, like that, then you don't know how good you are, you know, and people can just take advantage of you. So you definitely need to be secure as a, if you want to call yourself an artist, but you don't need to be arrogant, if you ask me, because if I deal with people that have arrogancy, honestly, I'm done in the first second. I really don't like arrogant people. So yeah,
because arrogancy is like a sign of being insecure.
Yeah,
I
being
think.
insecure, definitely. That's just it. And you just need to be confident in everything that you're doing, I think.
Facts.
Yeah,
it's
that
about
makes
knowing
you-
your worth.
Yeah, knowing your
Facts.
worth.
Yeah.
So that.
So how did you explore that self-awareness of understanding your worth as a makeup artist? What was that process like for you, and how did you get through those moments of insecurity?
Well, I've started doing makeup a long time ago, since almost 10 years ago. Back then, it's a whole process, becoming an artist and become whatever you want to do in life. You know, I thought it was very hard in the beginning because, of course, I didn't work a lot with brands and I didn't had a lot of gigs back then. So you need to confront yourself, you know? You need to be like, okay, how good am I? What do I deserve? And then you just need to manifest that, you know, because you just need to tap in that energy. Otherwise, you're like, okay, you're always going to float and you're always going to be somewhere, but you're just not secure of who you are. So I think that process, it was a long process for me, but I'm very happy at the person that I am right now. And because of that process, I learned about how I am as a human being, you know, how to connect with people, how to put my self-worth first, you know, because I think that's very important. You need to know what you are, what you do, who you are, and what you can how do you say that? Yeah, accomplish without even accomplishing it. You just need to know, you know.
Because you just are.
Yeah, because you just are.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, I think it was
This
a
was
long
the TED
process.
Talk. Woo! Yes, child. No,
It was a long process, but I'm happy that I could have had that process to begin with, because that made me the person that I am right now. I do these things because of that process, because of getting to know myself in this industry, you know.
For sure, yeah. Self-awareness is the foundation to all success, no matter what it is you're chasing.
Definitely.
Understanding who you are, where you want to be, and who you want to become.
Yes, and what you want to express.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what you're saying is that the development for anyone of understanding their creative identity is understanding who you are and what your value
Definitely,
is.
first of all,
Okay,
You need to start there. Yeah.
What were some of the challenges you experienced when you were trying to understand who you are? What was difficult about that process? That's a question.
It's a good question. Let me think about that. Could you answer that first?
Can you repeat the question?
During that process of figuring out who you are as an individual and as an artist, also, what was a challenge in that discovery process?
Damn, that's a
good question. Though. I need to think
you could tell
about
a
it.
story, maybe
And
like a moment where you felt like you didn't know who you are, maybe.
I think no.
I think I always knew who the fuck I am. I always knew. It's just the people around you who make you doubt yourself. And I think that is the journey. At least that was the journey for me. And maybe also I don't want to do the sob story like like as a female in the hip hop industry, blah blah blah. But that was also a thing. But next to that, just I want people to understand, like the people that pretend to not see you, you inspire them the most. You inspire them the most. So. But these are the things that make you doubt yourself. So in my music journey, a lot of times I had like, I fucks with this person, but that person is just giving you weird energy, and you're like, why? And I had these moments a lot of times, just in my journey, like overall, and it made me doubt my own vibe, and. It's only since recent that I was like, it's not my vibe that is weird. It's like, I just don't, it's your problem. You know, I just don't, our energy doesn't connect, and that's fine. And that's fine. So I think I think you always know who you are, and you just need to redefine that and constantly remind yourself of who you are. And I just want to say to everybody, don't forget your name. And I think, to me, everybody is an artist because creativity is everywhere. You know, even creativity is even in poverty. Like, I know the richest people, and you're coming over for dinner, and they have like brie and all kinds of fancy shit, and you're like, okay, but I'm not really full. Then you're coming to eat at somebody's place that's like a bit, you know, that's like a bit poorer, and you have like a whole 5-course meal on the table. Baby, that's creativity. That's creativity. So I think creativity is everywhere, and it's like the magic of being in the same situation, but having a different perspective on the situation, and that's why the situation is different.
Right, because it's activated your creativity. Exactly. So different life. Many things you mentioned that I want to highlight. First of all, you always know who you are. It's a matter of not giving a fuck if people don't know who you are, right? And that sense of like looking for validation and looking for to be understood. I definitely resonate with that, wanting to be understood as an emerging artist. That's a funny word, right? And so like I always knew I was an artist. I always knew I am a dancer. I am a photographer. I'm a painter. But when you say those things, you gotta have something to show for it. So without something to show for it that I thought other people would like, I let people tell me who I was, and that's where I messed up. And then you said something else that was very, very important, like activating your creativity with the circumstances around you, right? So if you understand that the world is abundant and what's around you, you can create anything from, your artistry is then being activated. Whereas if there isn't space to create meaning, where everything might just be provided to you, can be a little bit more difficult to activate that creativity. Is that, did I like summarize that?
Yeah,
definitely. Well enough to what you were trying to say? Okay.
You even did it more beautiful.
No.
You trying to take my shit.
No, I resonate with it very much so, because I'm definitely teaching myself of living by that standard of creating meaning and like you said, go back to who you are. Yeah. Because you are who you are when you're a child, right? And then things happen throughout your life that add layers, right?
Yeah.
And then it gets in the way of that artistry, and then the process begins of shedding those layers and figuring out who was I before all this shit happened to me.
That's so true.
And then in that's when artists start to create their music, create their choreography, do makeup, and like in that is that expression of like getting back to themselves, right?
I think that's the thing. Artistry is like getting and going back to your original core, to your original self. Because where your artistry lies, that is your purest form, if you do it right. And
what do you mean if you do it right? What does that mean?
Well, if you do it right, if you free yourself from your need of validation. Okay. At least that was the thing for me. I needed a lot of validation, also growing up, but also in my music journey. So damn, I don't know how to say this in English. Can I say it in Dutch?
Yeah.
Dus, toen ik opgroeide, ging ik dat gewoon heel veel binden aan... Ja, sorry, I need to say this right. I need to get it right.
Express yourself.
Ging ik het heel veel binden van... Oh, oké, ik heb jouw goedkeuring nodig... zodat ik dit kan zijn. Zodat ik het gevoel heb dat ik dit ben. En mensen onderschatten... Heel veel mensen in de muziek zijn helle onzeker. Dus wat gebeurt? Weet je... Ze willen dat je het goed doet, maar nooit beter dan hun. Snap je wat ik bedoel? Dus dan zit je altijd in een ding van... ik wil die validation, maar je vergeet dat zij ook in een journey zitten. Snap je? En that's what I mean. Sorry,
I understand. It's all good.
That's
like,
what
people
I mean.
at home, you
Whatever
understood.
you say.
That's what matters. The audience understood you.
You're like, what she said.
For sure.
But that's what I mean with, be that own validation to yourself and strip yourself away from that trauma of being in places where you are not loved, where you are not, where your presence is not appreciated. You know, and just feel that shit. Like, okay, you know, my presence isn't appreciated here. Don't stay around to like convince somebody of your worth, because when you start to like convince somebody of your worth, you already lost your value. And that's the thing.
Okay.
So
I'm thinking about the emerging artist listening to this who hears you and saying, yo, I know I'm an artist, right? But there is a need for validation, or rather reassurance. So when can reassurance be a positive thing? Maybe when can it actually be a support for an emerging artist? And maybe in your experience, has reassurance or validation helped you in a time where you didn't believe in yourself?
I actually wanted to say something about the change.
Go back, yeah.
Going back.
Flip it and reverse it. Do a missy on it.
Come
like,
back.
And then I'll answer this question. No, I was just gonna say like, what is the challenge? I wanted to say something about the challenge. I think for me, the challenge in the process of being the person that I am right now and the creative that I am right now was really just, I keep on saying it, but it's just knowing my worth, because I had a lot of moments where I had this photo shoot and, okay, I was booked as a makeup artist and people started to ask me everything, you know? They started to ask me, they started to ask me, do you do hair? Oh, do you do nails? Like everything.
Overexpanding you.
Yeah, no, like, it's like when you book me for a makeup artist and you book me as a makeup artist, and in that moment you're also gonna ask me to do hair, to do nails, to do da-da-da-da, but you didn't ask me for those things.
For a makeup.
You only yes.
I see.
And that is, I don't know if that happens to every makeup artist, but that happened a lot to me. And I think that is a thing where you need to, like, you know, put a grens, you know, like, this is your...
Put a boundary.
Boundaries, you know. So, because otherwise people are just going to use you in everything they want and they can. And
mold you into
and mold you,
want.
Because sometimes if you think about it, I don't even like doing hair. I can do hair, but I don't like doing it, you know,
Your hair looks good, by the way.
You look fabulous.
No, I like doing my own hair, but I'm not a hairstylist. So people could even mold you into being a makeup artist and a hairstylist just because they want you to be one, or because they asked you 100 times, do you also do hair? But if you need to keep doing your own creativity, whatever makes you happy, whatever you want to do. And that was really a challenge for me, because I needed to learn that, to even
stand up for yourself.
Yeah, to stand up for myself and be like, no. Like even 2 weeks ago, somebody asked me, could you do the nails? I was like, honey, no.
I won't.
I can't, but you didn't even ask me. I don't have anything. Like, how do you want me to do those nails, you know? So it's just, some people would say yes, and I've even said yes for hair and like the side things that people asked like back then, you know? But now I'm like, I'm not gonna do that, because that's just not what I do. If you book me for that, you book me for this. And that is being an artist, knowing what your worth is in the moment and knowing what you're best in and what makes you happy, you know?
And don't let people exploit the
don't let people exploit you, because it's not worth it.
Yeah, this was so loaded. Hold on, wait, pause.
Yeah.
This is a lot.
It's loaded fries.
It's loaded fries.
Sorry.
No, but I'm so happy you brought that up, because many things came in my mind as you were speaking about. You said they will mold you and tell you what they like, essentially what they want, and it's not what you were expected to do. And you said, I can do hair. Oh, I can, and I'm talented at that. But what I came here to do was this. That is so important, to put your foot down and set that boundary, and to know, because if you didn't know in that moment how to stand up for yourself, let's say another, someone that's probably their first gig and this happens to them. Yeah. They're seeing
because that also happened to me. I was also like, okay, I could do it. But
exactly. They're like, I should just do it. Otherwise, because if I say no, what could happen to my reputation?
Exactly.
What could happen to, maybe they think that I didn't do my job, or
that I'm difficult.
Yeah, I'm difficult.
Definitely.
The next person won't book me. And especially when you are, when you're doing this for a profession and you're new and you have to think like a businesswoman now. You're like, okay, I'm an artist, but hold up, wait. I'm also a business
first,
Hold up, wait. Yeah. If I can do this, but that's not what I want to do. And even if you're talking about in other mediums, it could happen, right? Photographer or a painter, and you're like, you know what you want to create. Someone says, make this portrait of me. And you're like, I can see it now. I can see these flames and stuff there. But they're like, no, I don't want that. I just want this. And then you're caught in the middle of you're my client. I have to give you what you want, but then this isn't feeding me.
Yeah, this is not me, you know.
This isn't me. And then your name is signed at the bottom of that. That's the thing that goes out across the world. It's, oh yeah, this was Amber Paris's work. And you're like, yeah, but that's not my voice. I didn't really
So you don't even
want
to share it or anything, you know?
Yeah. And I hear that from a lot of my friends who contemplate, do I want to do commissions, do I want to work, or do I just want to keep my art to myself so that I'm not molded and so that I don't do work just to pay the bills, right? And like for some people they're like, no, I can do that, and for other artists that's like that's not feeding them. And yeah, it sucks, man, because you want to do what you love. As we started this conversation, we said, yo, doing what you love. But then this like bureaucracy of things kind of get in the way of
all these expectations, just, you know.
So then how do you keep going then, right? So that's the reality of it. But then, you know, you want to do what you love. So how, you said stand up for yourself, right? Know your worth, stand up for yourself, and put your foot down. But how can you enjoy the process and enjoy being a creative without feeling like every time you work, you have to, you know, it's a fight?
I think just keeping it fun for yourself, like in every form you can. If that is even like doing her makeup when she's free and just doing a crazy look, or like, you know, looking at all the products that are up right now and what works for every type of skin, or you can like always keep the process fun for yourself and never forget to have fun. That's what they always say, but that's the truth, because if you're having fun at something, it doesn't really feel like work, and that's just how it's supposed to be. But next to that, you really need to also be a business person to step in that, you know, to that thing that you're doing, and to know what you're doing, you know. You cannot just only be a creative, honestly, if you're asking me. You also need to be a little bit, you know, have a business mind a little bit to come further, you know. So because if you tell me something and I don't agree with it, I need to have that confidence or that business thing that I can talk to you and have this how do you say that,
like
this agreement, from okay, I don't like this, could we do this, But if you don't do that and you're just like, okay, let's do this, then you're already not thinking clear, because you need to do whatever you like to do, not because somebody asked you need to do it. That's just with everything. Okay. So yeah.
So if we're talking in terms of a collaborative project, let's say, right? And I've seen both of you often collaborate with other artists in Amsterdam. And so if you are on a collaborative project but what you want isn't what your team wants, like how do you navigate that though? Because you are working on the same end goal. So
that's a really good question. I think with me, I don't know how that's with your branch, but with me, I could make mood boards and stuff. Mood boards really help me to make the vision clear for the end result. So if, let's say, a stylist sent their mood board to me, and the creative production sent the mood board to me, and I make a mood board, then we can all immerse that into one, and then we all have the same idea of the look that we want to see, you know. And I think that's the best way to do it, to just be on one line. As everybody who's
So have the creation process together.
Yeah,
so
I think the process before the thing itself is really important.
Okay,
and a lot of people forget that. Even they don't even spend a lot of time on that, and they're just like, okay, we're gonna do it today, and it's important to have that process and to have that preparation before you do anything. Honestly.
So I want to shift the conversation a little bit. Shift it. We gonna
girl.
So we already touched upon a couple of things that I wanted to ask you, but I specifically wanted to know about you working as a professional, a creative professional. If your profession was not in your creative industry, would you still call yourself an artist? Let's say your job was, you know, you was a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, and you still have the talents you have now, right? Would you still call yourself an artist today if you weren't performing or doing shows?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Because right now I'm also a youth worker, so I work with the youths,
Okay.
and I just kind of like incorporate my creativity and my art in working with them. So
But if you weren't a musician.
Oh, if I weren't a musician, I cannot even envision that.
Yeah, I know, right? It's weird.
If I weren't, damn.
Well, no, I think like you still are. Like you aren't performing.
Oh, you still are?
You aren't. Yeah, you still are who you are. You still have the talents you have, but you're not doing shows. You're not putting your your art out for the public as you work today.
I get it.
So you don't have a single, you don't have shows working for people.
Damn,
And
I think I would be making more music than I do now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a funny thing, and that's like kicking it back to where we started. When you start to see yourself as an artist, and when you are, let me say this right, Shay. What are you gonna say? Shay is my real
Take
name,
your time.
by the way.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
I know if we want to reveal that to the public.
I think I would be making more music.
Okay.
Because my art would be free. Sometimes I think about like, whoa, what if I would be, what if I would, like, I was a person that would just have an Instagram with 20 followers and be like totally cool with that and just post up like ugly selfies with my chin up and just like not
if it
giving
wasn't a
fuck.
business.
Like
Like
if
your
it
Instagram
wasn't a
wasn't a
business. Bro, I think
the expectations. You mean,
the
right?
expectations
Yeah.
are low, so your art will be more freely. At least I'm speaking for myself.
Okay.
I will be always be making music, but yeah, in a more free way without thinking about what is like the best way to release this and what is the best time to post this and what is the best time. I think like, damn. I had a post one day where they said artists who are being called content creators, that is the problem of today.
I saw that.
I didn't see that.
I was like,
yo.
I felt bad because I said content creator. Oh, so
Yeah.
why? What does that mean? So you said the quote for people who didn't hear is artists, people who call artists artists are being called content creators,
I haven't
and
seen the
that's the
quote.
problem.
And that's the
Okay, so
problem.
what does that mean, and why is that a problem?
That is a problem because it just squeezes all the art and creativity out of what you do, and
not every artist makes content.
Okay,
I think that's the
so
whole
is a
thing.
content creator not an artist
Yeah.
though?
But like there are enough artists that don't have Instagram, that
Right.
don't have
So a
Facebook,
lot,
that don't have this,
yeah.
and not because they're artists, they're like both. You know, it's just not true. The whole thing. If you're a content creator, honestly, you're an influencer to me, and you do things in the media. You know,
Okay.
but not because you post things and you post out your creativity, that does not make you a content creator or an artist. An artist just. If you feel like an artist, then you are an artist. Just that simple.
It is what
yeah,
it is.
it is what it is.
we keep on
Yeah.
circling back on this subject.
Yeah, because that's what it is.
So the lack of, not having your stuff publicly displayed, not being a content creator, not having this digital identity does not take away from your artistic identity,
course
is what we're
not.
saying. And in the reverse, simply creating content doesn't necessarily make you an artist, question mark?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Facts,
Not
no.
particularly, no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
But I believe that everyone's an artist. Like, I'm like, because I hear you, and I think there's a business behind content creating system, right? Like the time and the posting, because there's an agenda to get the follows and the posts.
But it's not like they're not an artist, but it's not like every one of them are an
Got
artist.
you.
You know?
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's not what defines an artist
Yes.
either. So if you're not doing that, it doesn't make or break
No.
your qualification
Yes.
as an artist. Yes, this is a bubble that has to be burst in my head, and I think in the heads of a lot of emerging artists, because of that pressure to be like, if I don't make my digital imprint, I'm not an artist. I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
This is the voice that I have. This is the voice. My friends tell me this is the voice in their head. Also, if you don't have that blue check, if you don't have those.
But we're living in that time. That's the whole pressure.
That's the
about-
verification right there, right?
In the whole creativity scene, you're like feeling pressured. Even if you're going on Instagram, you like see all these things, and you're like, oh shit, I don't have anything to post, or blah 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 blah.
Or I didn't post 5 times this week, so therefore.
But that doesn't even make sense, because you could have like the most artistic person that you don't even know, and you meet them at a spot and I don't know where, and then you realize that they're so artistic and they can like mean a lot for you, and you can mean a lot for them, and you can never find that person on Instagram. So just how people see the world right now, it really needs to change. Like how people see the media, particularly, because not because you have a blue check or like if you have one follower,
It doesn't have
mean
the
Mark
weight.
Zuckerberg is like, what?
Yeah. Sorry, Mar.
That's so funny. I love that. Oh my god. Well, so then on that note, I have a question for both of you. I want both of you to answer this. So I'm thinking for an emerging makeup artist, for an emerging singer-songwriter listening to this, who has not made their mark to the world yet, who has not really stepped out yet, what is your advice to them in activating their creative identity?
That's a really good question.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the questions. I love them. Yes. No, my advice would be the time that you have free, the free time that you have, put that into your creativity. Like put that in exploring yourself and exploring everything that you like to do and making your vision come through. Put that in the creative process, you know, because that's very important to become this whole being, this whole artist of. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but just
You already did.
yeah, just like, you know, just put that energy into the creativity that you already know that you have, because if you do that, then it could only get more and more, you know, there can only
you
come
train
good
yourself, you
things
develop.
out
So
of that.
practice your craft,
Yes,
right?
practice your
Just
craft.
keep going,
Yes, yes.
doing it.
And don't be afraid to put out your craft in every form. You could like even like stand somewhere and have this whole makeup look and like look at people and I don't know, you could do everything. You don't even, there's not only one thing as posting something or
Okay,
particularly.
so explore the different
Yes.
ways that you can show your art to the
Yes.
world. Don't
Yes.
just rely on the digital sphere.
Yes, definitely.
I didn't expect that actually, because I see the digital sphere as this big opportunity, and it's how we're seeing it. You know, everyone's talking about it, so I love that advice. Of don't forget that there's a world outside of the digital community,
Yes.
and you know, it crashed one day. You know,
Definitely.
so what you're saying is, step out of making your identity just digital and explore the different ways that you can
Yes.
explore who you are as an artist.
Because
in the
there
real
are
world.
many ways.
Okay.
I mean, you could like send an email to a makeup artist that you like and be like, okay, can I be your assistant? Without even knowing who you are, or what you do. I mean, putting that step there could make somebody really respect you because you put that step to even do that, you know? So I think you could do it in every way. It's not only this or only that. It's just what works for you.
Dope. Okay.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. And for me, it's really like the time in solitude that you have. See that as a blessing. See it as a blessing when nobody knows you yet. Because that is that valuable time that you have with yourself where you can finesse your art, where you can put identity to your art and like really get to know who you are as an artist. I have the feeling when you come out as an artist, people are gonna define for you what kind of artist you are. So if you like really embrace that time in solitude, I think you will come a long way with that.
Yeah.
For me, it was, starting with my crappy MSN mic, and no, for real, starting with my crappy MSN mic.
But it was the mic.
But it was the mic.
That started everything.
It was the mic, and being alone in my room, and my mom like, hey, what is she doing up in her room? And nobody really knew, so I didn't have any expectations. I was charging my mom for my bedroom concerts I did in her own house. Yeah, I had it like that. But it was in those moments where I knew myself very well as an artist, where I knew exactly what I wanted to make and who I wanted to make it with. So solitude is key.
That's the t-shirt. Solitude is key.
Yeah.
I absolutely love them, but I didn't expect that from either of you. I love that because we all experienced that solitude last year.
And we hated it, right?
We hated it, but it was necessary.
But it was
Yes.
necessary.
And it's exactly why I made the journal, because it's about self-awareness. Get to know who you are before the world tells you who you are.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
Define yourself by your own standards.
very important.
Define your life by your own standards. Because you're right. As soon as you make it big, start working with people, putting yourself out there, you can't control people interpret your art. And if you are confident in your identity, it's not going to phase you as much, I think, if people misinterpret it. Because you're like, yo, this is for you.
Yeah, that's true.
This is for me. However you interpret it is your business. And it's like, I'm cool with who I am, secure in who I am and who my identity is.
Yeah, whatever happens.
Whatever happens, happens. So build that relationship with yourself.
With yourself.
And really, really fall in love with that process before it happens.
Yeah.
So, wow.
That's very important. Yeah. I really totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Because if like I also took a year for myself. Like I broke my wrist like 3 places, and then I couldn't do anything. Yeah. So I really took like 1.5 years to
downtime.
for myself, because I really needed that also, and that also made me better in everything that I do right now. So solitude is definitely
it's not just you practicing. Like technically, it's also here.
Yeah, in your mind, definitely.
It's because if you're not well, your art, because it's coming from you, right? And so doing that emotional work and exercise and that time you had off really helps you with the craft you're doing now.
Yeah, it really helps me like even grow as an artist. Yeah. So I think a lot of people are pressured to like do like everything every day, you know, but
I have to create today.
Right, but you could take 1 year off and think about yourself and your life and what you don't want to do or what you do want to do, or like go on vacation or stay in bed. You could do all those things. Not because you're an artist, you need to create every day. It's just you need to express yourself at a moment, you know, when you're done.
And even if you don't want to do that,
and even if you don't want to do that, you could do that in a different way.
Yeah. You are an artist whether or not you produce that work.
It's nobody can make you something or anything. You can only do that yourself.
Absolutely.
So you do agree with the book said?
Which book?
She did say that. She said she agreed with it half and half.
Yeah, you agree with it half and half.
No, that is valid.
What do you want to do, girl?
She said, hold up, I caught your ass. I love that way that we ended that, because it comes back to the end of claiming who you are, knowing who you are in the end. And I want to wrap up with, like, you literally just quoted the quote that I was going to end with, so thank you. But literally, Viola Davis said, you know, when you are an artist and you're not able to speak, metaphorically speak, right? You will implode.
Yeah, it's totally true.
So find how you're going to express that because you need to, not because you need to perform, right? And take your time in that discovery. And there's so much more that we can dive into on that conversation. Damn, I wish we had more time for that, but we don't. But nonetheless, we can discuss more of the drinks and stuff and whatnot. And I mean, if the people here want to hear more from you, where can they follow you? Where can they follow your work? And how can we keep up with you?
Say it, Zulu.
Zulu Green everywhere.
Hold on, wait, pause. She just cued you.
Say it, Zulu. Do it, girl.
I'ma say it.
Since you're in the middle.
Yes. Where can we find you?
Man, Zulu Green on every platform you like, I guess. Not on Twitter because I'm not on Twitter.
Okay, so you're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook,
Instagram,
Zulu Green.
YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Zulu Green. Yeah.
Well, I'm Jazz Ben Khalifa. That's Jazz with double Z. And Ben Khalifa, and my artist account of Instagram is itsmua.khalifa. So you can find me on Instagram, or you can just mail me at jazz.benkhalifa@gmail.com.
And for those who didn't know, MUA means makeup artist.
Oh yeah, makeup
and
artist.
also catch a drop.
Not makeup and hair.
Moi.
It's moi.
It's moi.
I said it's moi.
It's moi.
Ben Khalifa.
It's nobody else, just moi.
I love that. Lovely. Yeah. Well, we definitely have more catching up to do. Thank you so much for coming here today, for speaking about your journey, for dropping gems. I really appreciate you both. And I look forward to seeing more work that you guys put out. No pressure to put anything out.
No pressure, girl.
You live on a whole nother frequency right now. Okay. No pressure.
But you know, it will be great. Yeah. And for those at home, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I hope that you felt inspired to get to know yourself as an artist, that you take the time you need to understand who you are before the world tells you who you are. And I look forward to, seeing our next episode. So next month, we will have a new host on We the People Radio with a new guest, and a new topic. And if there's something that you specifically want to learn about or hear about, you can contact us at We the People Amsterdam on Instagram. So then, let us know what you want to hear, who you want to see, and we'll see what we can do about that.
Yes, do it.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day, guys. Ciao.
Bye.